So folks, you're very welcome back. I'm just going to change the oil in this Rover 75 right now. It's the following day. No, it's not. It's 5 days later. I never got a chance to come back to this car. It also happens to be about 5,000 degrees, which is great. So I'm beat. It's Sunday. I just want to get this done pretty quick, given that the All-Ireland final is on. We'll maybe try and get into that today and see what's going on in there with that. So basically, very simple. Just going to drop the oil. We're just going to do a quick oil change. And that's pretty much it. That'll be the service insofar as is possible complete. There is one thing I haven't done, and that's the pollen filter, which fits in up here above the ECU. I'm not doing that right now because, well, the ECU, we still need to find out, is the ECU good, okay? So first things first anyway, I need to get the filter out underneath, and I've taken a mat from the car, which is handy because I can roll around on that. I have a bucket ready to go to take the sump filler plug, and yeah, I just need to attach on up here, which hopefully won't take too much time. You know what? Now, you might be wondering about safety here and stuff like that. Obviously, very important that we are safety conscious. And we always are, of course. So what I have done here in regards to safety is the following. I jacked the car up. And that's not the correct way. Be ready with the bucket. So I've jacked up the car. I have it on axle stands at both sides. I have also put, well, it's automatic, so it's in park. But because I have the front wheels off the ground, and obviously being safety conscious that I am, I've chucked the rear wheels just for that added little bit of security and safety. And I have also got the handbrake on. Ooh, there we go. Engine oil is now flowing. So here, that's now, be careful because I'm in my Sunday best, and I obviously don't want to get covered in oil and stuff. So I've got my sump filler plug there. I'm actually, just simply because I'm kind of moving around between equipment here, I'm actually going to take that glove off that's covered in oil right now. I'm just going to chuck it in the bin over here. Just because I want to do a good job. I want to make sure it's all nice and toasty and handy for you guys. So I know I have other gloves in here. Whew! It's hotter than the Nolan sisters, folks. That's how bloody hot it is out here. Okay, I have a little bit of a cloth here. I'm just going to use this just to clean up the sump filler plug. And I also need to change the washer on it. It's just something I like to do, just to make sure that nothing kind of gets stuck in it or causes any issue later on. Now, always worth changing the sump filler little gasket that's around it. That's actually not the washer. Sorry, did I say gasket? I meant washer. Oh no, hold on, it is. It's coming off now. So always a good idea to change it, because you want to make sure that you get a good seal once the engine is all done. And oil isn't too bad looking there now that's come out of it. And we obviously put that on there. Brilliant. Okay, so we got the sump filler plug is ready to go back on. We'll just leave that down there so it's nice and handy dandy, doesn't get lost. Now, while I'm up here, I'm just going to prepare a couple of things for this service. So we may take the oil filler cap off. I'm also going to get ready and change the filter. I just want to see the flow of oil coming out down here. Make sure it's good. Basically, I just want to make sure it's all good and handy dandy. Oh yeah, it's just the last little bit of dribbles. Nice one, folks. So what I'm going to do at this point now is to get a big 36mm socket, and that will allow you to release the oil filler cap. Now, there is a special tool for doing this, but for today's purposes, folks, I am the special tool. So I'm going to use this big mother of a tool, okay, which I have borrowed from a friend. And the reason I borrowed it from a friend is I don't have a tool that big. Make from that what you want. Well, I don't have a 36mm socket. The reason I don't have a 36, do you know what? I'm going to use this. Guards are probably looking for this, so I'm just going to whip this lid up here. And is the filter on it? No, it isn't. There's a little stick in the middle. I'm just going to lift that up and I'm going to put it in there. And that'll just stop me getting dirty and stop everything else getting dirty. And I just kind of like, as usual, when I have a little something out, just give it a clean. It doesn't hurt. It only takes about 2 seconds to do. Now, the other important thing to do at this point, is it on this car? It is on this car. Is, of course, to remove this big dirty O-ring here. Now, I'm going to use a screwdriver to get in under that, so I'm just going to gently place that there. I'll be back for that in just a moment. And we step into my shed of dreams. And then we step back out again and we have a tool. And this tool is handy dandy. It's just going to allow me to get under that O-ring. Start to flip it up. And being careful as well. Don't want to damage the threads or anything on the oil filler cap. We'll just leave that there and then we'll take this off. Okay, handy dandy. And here's one I prepared earlier. Okay. Now, me personally, what I like to do is just take a little fingerful of oil, just wipe it over this, just so it's not bone dry. A little bit more oil there. There's a little bit of oil. Where have you been hiding all my life? There we go. Put it over and just gently start to work it down to where it slips in. And that will keep everybody happy and sealed. Woo! Doing a little dance on me. See, this is the problem with oil. Things get greasy, things get slippy. And that's it. But it allows everything to do its work and do its job. And that's now ready to rock. So, again, I'm just going to take that, give it a little wipe. Make sure it's all good. I can hear somebody saying hi, and I'm just trying to make sure it's not in my driveway. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. Anyway, why am I leaving that down there? So again, just spilt a little bit of oil there. So I'm just going to give that a wipe. That's ready to go back on now in just a moment. Gosh, before it does, I'll take out the old filter and get an idea of the condition of this. Whoa! That's, let me bring that over there. I'm careful to avoid that carpet. I don't think that's in great condition. What was it? Copper fasten? No, can the camera pick that up? It looks like it's mush to me. That does not look like a good filter. Did somebody put it in wrong? What on earth went wrong with this? Doesn't look good to me though. It smells a bit burnt, if I'm honest. Okay. Enough of that. I'm going to do the honest thing here, folks, and I'm just going to throw that straight in the bin. I don't want to know about it anymore. And I'm going to take my lovely new filter. So I could put that O-ring in the bin as well while I'm at it. Be done with it. I don't need more rubbish hanging around the place. Oh, Jesus. My trolley jack's trying to kill me, folks. Now, this is a Mahale, M-A-H-L-E, Mahal, something. Where's this one made? I'd like to look where things are made. Made in, it's made in Austria. I was going to say made in Germany, but Austria. I think they're a separate country, aren't they? I like to think they are. So, we'll take that. We'll gently insert it. We'll push it down. We'll make sure it's all in good condition. And we'll take the top of the filter. We'll work it down. And I like to kind of start to drive these things home by hand. And the reason is, just like the air filter up there, it's just if something goes a little bit astray, a little bit wrong, you're kind of half covered, okay? You haven't just gone in full force and driven it too far home. Anyway, we will take our lovely bar here. Now, these are supposed to be driven to 25.5 Newton meters of torque. that feels right there. Generally the way I like to do it is bring it around until it grips and then give it a little bit extra. So generally a quarter turn is the way I kind of work these things. Now we'll leave that down there. And now we're going to check how we're looking underneath. Okay, so again, I like to take the cloth down with me and just clean up around the oil filler before I attach everything back on. Still a little trickle coming, but that's okay. That's allowed. We'll take our little sump plug. I'll move back all the oil now. Oh yeah, plenty of oil in that engine. We'll just give it that a little wipe around that just to make sure no debris has gotten near it or anything like that. And just, it's all about doing a clean job, folks, if I'm honest. Oh, good idea if I turned it the correct way, wouldn't it? There we go. Come on, catch, would you? This doesn't want to catch for me, folks. Why is that? It is interesting. I'll just do another clean on it. Pull that cloth back. There, we're sucking diesel. She's going home. Good sump plug. On you go. Whoa. Now, tools covered in oil. We'll flip the locking direction there. And we'll start to send it home. Now, good and tight. I can't envisage any problems with that. Solid, huh? Isn't that how tight we're going? So, back up again. My back isn't completely frigged just yet. It's Bella the dog warning off whoever's talking. She knows I kind of get annoyed with things like that. Yeah, just want to clean that. It'll spilt a little bit of oil. Again, just want to make sure it's nice and spotless. Power steering fluid while I'm here. I'll give you a little wipe. Okay, and the dipstick. Yeah, I'll wipe my hands too. Let's see. Nothing in there. No, bones dry. That's the way I want it. Now, let's fill her up with some oil. So folks, the way I like to do this is to take my oil, like so. Break the little retaining clip up a little bit. That's all I need to do there. Give her a pull, give her a twist, and there is a trick to this. If you want to avoid spilling oil, which I like to do, bring the bottle in on its side, okay, and keep it at the top, and that way you don't get a big, strong flow. And you just tip her away and let it do its thing. Let a bit of air in as well, folks, and it just lets a beautiful, what is this? MPM Oil Company. I don't know where they're from. Apparently it's made in Holland. So it's probably for all engines. It's probably liberal. In all honesty, it's 10W40, and if I remember correctly, it's fully synthetic, which I assume is good. I don't know. Basically the one for the engine though. That's the important thing here. We're using the correct oil. And also, if I remember correctly, this bad boy takes 7 litres, or should take about 7 litres at service. So you can see with this, I'm not too worried about overfilling, underfilling, anything like that direct from the bottle. But I do like to stop and check. I do like to give it a couple of minutes to work its way down and work its way through. I'm not one of these people who likes to just fire it all in, top it right up to the top and say, hey, let's start the engine and see what happens. No, we'll take our time with this. Again, don't rush this, folks. Just take your time. Christ. I'm sure there's some other thing I could say that's far ruder about how hot it is here right now, but I'll just stick with the Nolan sisters for today, I think. Bewitched? Were they hot? The Cores? Maybe? No, they got Jim. Andrea Core, man. Wow. Still got it. I'll give her that. Getting old, though. Getting old. I'm getting old, I suppose. That's the problem, isn't it? I don't mean that she's getting old. She's meant to get old. Let's just check on my dino babies. See where we are. A nice little clean there. Oh, yeah. You clean it. You dip it. You whip it out again, and there's nothing there. That's good, though. That's good. That's telling me I am to keep on going. Man. Her down. Send her off. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Yeah, all the gulps. Yeah. If you're smart, folks, you'll keep that. And the reason you'll keep that is I tend to cut the top off, or try and get the lid off, I should say, not cut the top off. And what I try and do then is get the old engine oil into it and take it for recycling. Alternative uses that I use the engine oil for, I assume it's still socially acceptable to do this. I sometimes paint the wooden fence with it. It's bloody brilliant stuff. Or on other occasions, I have taken it out to something maybe that's a bit rusty, but I kind of half want to preserve it somehow. And I paint it onto the rust. Generally farm machinery, stuff like that. But it works great. It does what it says in the tin. So here's my other 2 litres in case you were wondering. So what is this actually? Let's have a look. Engine oil, premium synthetic. Apparently it's got all the good stuff in it. Oh, 5W30. Did I say 10W40? I hope it's 5W30. Yes, it's 5W30. Apologies. It's got boric acid in it. It's got a load of other stuff that I can't pronounce, but I can pronounce boric. So yeah, with these engines, my experience anyway, and I'm assuming this is not just me. Okay, you dip twice. Take it out. It could be absolutely anywhere on the stick. Wipe it clean, dip it, and out she comes again. And in this instance, okay, she's moving up the dipstick, folks. Now, what I'm conscious of, so this car ain't on the level right now, okay? So God only knows what reading I'm getting. So, tell you what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to hold on to these for 1 minute, okay? I'm going to put the engine cover back on underneath because I don't need to worry about that. I've got everything done up here. I'm just going to put this on it. I'm actually going to lower the car onto the level so that I can get I suppose, a truer reading of where things are with the engine oil level. So I'm going to come back to you in a couple of minutes, folks. You can, well, on camera this will seem like something seamless. So you can just stay there. And I will literally just cut the video. See you folks in a minute. Okay, folks, so we're back to removing the axle stands, my security piece of wood. It worked, so I'm not too worried about it. Man, I'm bad. It's bloody hot. So folks, underneath here, I have gotten the engine tray back on. Double checked that there was no leaks out of the water pump and so on. So I'm just gonna let that down. Now you might be wondering, how come I can use the jack at the front? Don't worry, the jack isn't against the engine or anything like that. There's a tow hook under there, and it's fine for taking the weight of the car. So jack it up there, do the axle stands on both sides. Works a treat. So, folks, it's so bloody hot, it's not even funny. Anyway, we'll do a dip of the oil again. Make sure we do nothing wrong. Just want to avoid overfilling it now more so than underfilling it. It's obviously the big worry. So we're on half. Put that back in there. Now, of course, although I'm saying 7 litres is the recommended or is what it should take, We have to remember that there's some oil left in the engine, so it's not all going to come out at the same time in the same rate. You know, now my way of doing things like this is, and I'm no professional, so feel free as a professional to say, no, that's not the way I would recommend you do it. I don't mind. I say I recognize I'm not gonna tell anyone how they should do their job. My way of doing it though is that I would change the oil in this after maybe 3,000 or 4,000 kilometers. And the reason I would recommend that personally is because this would have been standing a while. There could be silt built up, there could be crap built up, it could just be crud in general. I like to give them a good drive and clear that. Now that's assuming that I do drive them. Sometimes I just do the service, it gets parked away. At least I know when it went in, things were right insofar as they could be, and the car was looked after. And I kind of feel it just gives me a bit of reassurance. Number one, to get to know the car and get a bit of a feel for it. But number two, it's the reassurance knowing I did my best putting it away. And maybe these are things that we don't need to be too focused on when we're starting it, moving it around the shed and that kind of thing. So again, just while I'm waiting for that to make its way down to the end, I just like to clean up the parts I've just serviced. And anywhere else oil may have dripped or dropped. Just had a habit really, folks, that I do this. I'm not saying you necessarily have to. Maybe you're able to do a cleaner job than me, I don't know. So again, I'm very conscious. I do not want to overfill the oil. So again, I'm going to check again and see where our level has gone to. Maybe I'm checking it a bit soon, but we'll wait and see. Oh yeah, that is almost at full. I'll put in another little drop, folks. I'm definitely not going to open up the other bottle. That is without doubt not going to happen now. So I got a bottle spare, but that's always handy. Bottle for topping up. So let's see, there's only about 100 mils left, I would say. I'll throw that in. Again, just keeping a little bit back, just in case. It's handy to have. As I said, the one thing you don't want to do is overfill. Whew! It's hot. So yeah, folks, listen, we're practically finished now. Just going to make sure the level is topped off before I finish. Oil cap back on. Now, as I say, and I said this earlier on, there is an engine cover to go over this to direct engine or air into the engine, fresh air into the engine from up here. I'm not putting it back in because I want to make sure the EGR, well, I don't want to take it apart again to replace the EGR if the EGR needs to be replaced. As I said, I have a suspicion that someone maybe has deleted the EGR from it or done something around it and that this maybe isn't actually functioning at all. But I want to find out around that engine light. So it's going to go off to somebody who's also going to check our ECU and make sure that's perfect. Okay, because I do know it's gotten wet and it may not be perfect. And give it a good check over and make sure everything's right before I proceed. So far up to this point, folks, it's just a complete and utter amateur myself, just going through the basics that anyone could do on a driveway. I am going to have to get that checked by somebody else, so unfortunately that's just the way it is. I've done what I can do with it myself. But I'd like to get a second opinion from someone who is very, very familiar with car ECUs and things like that. So let's just double check the oil before you guys go. Bang on. So that's bang on full, folks. I'm not going to put in any more oil. We're going to top that off and leave it at that. Always make sure the engine oil thing is upside down, so when you turn it around, it's the correct way around. The last thing I want to do here, folks, just give this a quick little dry just to get rid of any little oil I may have dropped on it. Now, as I say, this will all eventually get a full clean, but for now, it's adios. If you liked what you've seen, folks, if you enjoyed the video, I bet it's so hot, but please do feel free to subscribe. Please comment, please like, please share. Do what you got to do, folks. And listen, thank you very much for joining me on this journey. We'll talk to you again soon. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm just doing my recycling. Wait a minute. Bye-bye, folks. Thank you. I'm going to go into the shade. I'm bet.